casuals?
Mere casuals.
So we're mere casuals. My name's Josh. I'm a Blood Elf Paladin. Sam, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Sam. I'm a Blood Elf Hunter.
And?
And, well, I'm Al, and just to keep with the whole theme of it, I'm a Belf Rouge.
So we're all Blood Elves. Why did we pick Blood Elves?
So we'd be in the same spot and something new. It wasn't a classic zone, it was a TBC classic zone.
Right, because we didn't play TBC at all, did we?
And we really wanted to hit Tranquillin.
Oh, for the rep, right. It's a free exalted achievement. Right. So anyways.
We had the achievements before the achievements were a thing the second time.
Didn't they add them already?
No, there was no ding.
Oh, I guess, yeah, we must have beat it by a week. Because we started... What did we start? 3 weeks before the pre-patch?
See, that's not very mere. I don't know.
It's mere.
Okay, it's mere enough. Well,
We're casual. We didn't raid. I mean, we raided in Classic, but we didn't, like, raid.
Well, that's true. We got it a week before Wrath came out, so yeah. It's mere. All right.
It's mere. So anyways, we should probably say what we're doing here. So we decided we were going to make a podcast. What? I'll cut that part out. So we decided we were going to make a podcast about our journey through Wrath of the Lich King the second time through.
My
Me and
first
Al,
time.
well, your first time, yeah. Me and Al played it, what, in like 2000...
Something.
When were we playing?
It was as I was moving out of your house.
2008?
Yes, I
Yeah,
guess.
I want to say 2008. We started in Burning Crusade together and then played Wrath and then eventually quit. And Sam, when did you start playing?
Briefly when we started dating.
Were we pandas then? I feel like that was the Panda People expansion.
I don't remember what expansion. It didn't last long.
It was probably pandas. Us dating or us playing?
Us playing.
Oh, okay.
We're still together, sorry.
Yeah, but are you dating?
No.
No, we're technically not dating anymore. So we played years ago and took a long, long break.
And then I broke the laptop, so we had to take a break.
You did break the laptop. That probably didn't help. But we have new laptops. We have new computers. Very casual machines.
Perfect.
So this moment of awkward silence, I'd like to say that I have a mere computer because I have fans attached to it that didn't come on the computer because it makes a lot of noise.
So you have a very casual rig.
Very mere casual. It's merely casual rig.
So what did we do, though? We started playing, like, the day Classic WoW dropped. Didn't you brought your computer over.
Yes.
We set up on the table in the front room, and we played...
Back room, but
It was in this room.
it wasn't in that one.
No, it was right here on this table.
Okay.
I remember. So
We
we
made
set
it
up our
up there.
computers, and we did a little marathon few-hour session when Classic first came out. Waited in lines for Quest and all that.
Oh. Yeah, okay, I remember now.
Can a few hours really be called a marathon?
It can when you're mere casuals.
Oh, gotcha.
We're not the 24-hour straight bingers. So yeah, we did that, and we played through on Classic. We found a guild. We raided. I think we completed...
You skipped the part where we became traders.
We became traders. Oh, right. Yeah, we started Horde. And
Word for life.
we played... What did we play? A shaman, a warrior, and... Were you a hunter still?
It was a hunter.
We played a shaman, warrior, and hunter, and accomplished basically nothing. Started our own guild that no one joined. And
Still there, and I got exalted in a really cool weapon from AV, so...
yeah, but anyone can do that. So we did a bunch of 5-mans, not very well, and rated absolutely nothing. Then we switched to Alliance because you wanted to, right?
I wanted to try something different.
Yeah. So, but it worked out, right? Because we found a guild.
Yeah.
Well, the first one we found was kind of crazy.
Oh, that was with the sick guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him.
The sick Floridian.
Yeah, the sick guy from Florida who constantly had something wrong.
And then eventually it quelled.
That's an inside joke we're not going to explain. Yeah, so we were there and we merged, right? Or no, did we merge guilds or did we just follow?
Are you
We just
kidding?
followed
with,
one
with
of
the
them.
way
We just
that
followed
we
the guy,
all
didn't
left,
we?
it's almost a merging.
Yeah, I guess a bunch of us left and joined an actual guild, and we raided and we cleared Molten Core, and we cleared Blackwing Lair, and we cleared ZG, and we cleared AQ20, and we cleared AQ40, and then we finished AQ40, and the guild completely imploded and collapsed in on itself.
Well, they started letting go of their geared people.
They started kicking
Letting
people.
go of, that's a polite way of saying it. Just aggressively booting their geared people out of the guild.
So then I think you folks stopped before me because
Yeah.
I was heading into Nax and watching them get frustrated. I think I've been through 2 bosses of Nax.
Did you actually kill bosses?
2.
Okay, because when I left,
The bug guy and the plague guy, the first 2.
I left after I think 2 weeks of attempting to clear bosses in Nax and dying to trash, wiping very early on bosses, and just overall getting very frustrated because the guild leaders and raid leaders couldn't figure out that why we couldn't clear the bosses after kicking out half of our geared raiders from AQ40, I think is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, and I was a tank. I'm not a skilled player.
I was gonna, that's actually in my notes, I was gonna mention that you played a bear tank and did a decent job of it.
Well, thank you very much. I am a little hard on myself because, I'm not the best player in the world, and if I'm not the best, I don't consider myself skilled. I'm gonna breathe.
Like I know that a lot of people that play like modern WoW, they look back at the raids in Classic and say, "Oh, it's not complicated. It's just like tank and spank, and it takes no skill and all that stuff." But I mean, this is not meant to be. That sounded like I was building up to an insult, but I wasn't. It's not that easy, and you did a decent job. I thought you were a fine tank. You tanked bosses in AQ40.
Yeah. Until I had to strafe.
Well,
I can
any boss
strafe.
that doesn't involve walking sideways, you're perfectly capable of handling, right?
Well, here's the thing. I just don't understand the concept. The strafe, I can strafe.
It's
But the
just
thing
walking
is-
sideways.
Yeah, but they're still dazing me, which means they're still hitting me from behind somehow. So when you strafe, I still walk faster than the bosses, which means if I get ahead of them, they're going to hit me from behind. So I had to like strafe, stop, I guess. I don't know. I still am confused by the strafe today.
And that's why the guild collapsed, correct? Because you couldn't strafe?
Yes. It was a very strafing time. But,
No, I feel like there was definitely other reasons other than that.
no, but they liked me for some reason. I mean, part of the reason they kicked some of the people out is, well, this is back before, I was a little sensitive back then.
A little.
A little.
And they kicked people out for me. And I'm like, okay, don't do this.
I don't think I knew about that. Who did they kick out for you?
Okay, I can't remember his name. The rogue dude that got...
We don't need to name names.
So remember when we...
I don't remember names anyways.
Remember we did the ZG... what's the dungeon? ZF? Zolfarak?
Yeah.
And some guy picked up with us when we were in the other guild, but then we joined this other guild, and he ended up joining that one as well.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And then he got the hammer. We had the big party for him. Yay. And then he left. Well, he got kicked out. Sorry.
Oh. That wasn't a rogue.
Okay, whatever he was. You sure he wasn't a
Oh,
rogue?
wait. Oh, because rogues can't use hammers. You're not talking about the two-handed hammer. What hammer are you talking about?
Whatever you build up from Molten Core.
You're talking about the Thunder
Thunder
legendary, the
Yeah.
Thunder Fury
Yeah.
weapon that a rogue can use. I remember all of that now. I don't remember the person, but I remember all
Yeah,
that.
so-
They kicked him out for you?
Because he pissed me off. Can I say that on your podcast? Sorry.
Say whatever you say, and it's our podcast.
'Cause he
I'm
tipped
just
me
the one
off.
that forced you to do it.
Okay, we're going to edit this. Going to start over take 2. Because he ticked me off. He was... Okay, so because I didn't strafe properly, I didn't pull the mobs back far enough, fast enough in AQ40, and he would start to steal my tanking responsibilities. And then
As a rogue?
I'm confused. He might have been a warrior. No, because he was... Okay, so...
I might be thinking of a different person.
We're thinking of the right person. He wasn't a rogue because he also was our tank in Zul'Farrak. We picked him up as a tank.
I know who you mean now.
Yeah, it's like the letter C is coming to mind. Is that right?
Oh,
No,
a
that was a
little
different
M was
guy.
coming to mind
No,
for
I know
me.
who you mean. There's no C or... I know who you mean. Wasn't he one of our main tanks?
Type in Morse code. No,
I don't remember
It
his
wasn't
name.
a main tank.
I feel like I know who you mean. Either way, that's a long tangent. Just to establish that you got people kicked out of the guild just because you didn't like them.
But I talked to the guild leaders and I said, look, I appreciate that, but don't kick people out for me.
Sounds like he was a jerk anyways.
Well, he was, but it's a game. I definitely wouldn't do that. I wouldn't act like that now, but just, I don't know. They went a little too far on my behalf. Didn't like it so much.
Well, yeah, I guess that was probably a foreshadowing of things to come because they did get pretty kick happy at the end of AQ40, beginning of Nax. Well, before Nax even started, we didn't even get a foothold into Nax before I bailed. It just stopped playing entirely. I don't even think I was really playing at all when Burning Crusade started. I think I'd already lost my will to play at that point.
Got my druid up to 70.
That was in my notes too, that you kept playing after we quit because apparently you're more committed than we are.
No, I left. Then went back, got up to 70, then left again.
Oh, okay. So we're clearly committed players. You know what doing a podcast, do you know what doing a podcast will help us do? Actually keep playing. Because if we sit here and we say, okay, we're going to do an episode of this and update our adventures once a week, then we actually have to play that week, don't we? And
Also,
we have to actually do something interesting. We can't just sit around and do whatever it is we do.
well, then next week's might be a little boring. We're going camping, so we might not have as much playtime.
Are we not taking the laptops?
I don't have a laptop. You don't have a
That's
laptop.
going to be a problem then, isn't it? I have a laptop. It just won't run well. So, Sam,
Same difference.
Yes.
you also played with us in AQ40. That was the weakest yes I've ever heard. So you were a warrior. Why weren't you a tank?
Because I'm not that good.
You're not that good?
I could barely even play my warrior.
But you were a DPS warrior. That doesn't take a whole lot of effort.
Yeah, but I still died a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure, because I played a holy paladin. And I am pretty sure, I don't think I ever got in trouble for this, because this guild at least had the sense to try and hold on to its healers.
You were like the best healer.
I did a lot of healing, but I had my healing stats padded by maybe focusing a lot of heals on a certain DPS warrior during the raids.
Me?
Yeah. Unfortunately, with the healing meters, you can see who you're healing, and I did get talked to on more than one occasion by the guild leadership.
But didn't they know we were married?
They knew, and I think that's why they didn't say so much, but I did get it mentioned to me a couple times. My tanks didn't die. I kept my tanks alive, but they looked and they saw that I was also healing a DPS warrior while healing a tank. And even if they put me in a different group, I've got my voodoo add-on set up, and I had you set aside as like a...
Did you really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have this little side window where you can assign like tanks. And I signed you as a tank to watch because, well, you would get upset and you would quit when you died a lot. So I just got, well, no, you didn't, because I was healing you as a tank for half the raids.
Oh, well, I always thought I died a lot.
You really didn't die that much. By the end, no one really died that much. We got pretty good at AQ40.
Okay, so this is the first time hearing of it. And basically, what you're telling me is you were assigned a tank, and nothing bad really ever happened to him, and they gave you a talking to because you were doing something else at the same time?
I didn't get a talking to. I just got told to focus on my tank. And my response was, did they die? And the answer was usually no, so it just kind of got left as that. And yes, before you ask, I was assigned as your healer more than once. And yes, when I was assigned as your healer, I wasn't always paying attention to you. But you were a bear druid. You have tons of health. You have tons of armor. It was fine. And I will repeat the question. Did you die?
A number of times. I don't know when you were my healer, though.
Well, I wasn't always your healer. There was another healer that eventually became an officer in the guild after we all bailed.
Yeah, I'm kind of lean that way.
And despite me teaching him everything I knew, he still wasn't that good. But we're not supposed to talk about being good at things. We're mere casuals. We're supposed to talk about how we're bad at stuff.
Well,
we were never in a hardcore raiding guild.
It turned into one.
No, that wasn't hardcore raiding. We were still...
That was crabby
they sucked
raiding.
the fun out of it for me, though.
They did suck the fun out of it. They did a good job of that. But that was medium core raiding, because if it was hardcore raiding, I mean no offense by this, but if it was hardcore raiding, you would have been kicked out for your DPS charts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
I would have been kicked out, too.
I might have been kicked out for refusing to do what I was told on occasion. And Al may have been kicked out for not knowing how to strafe. Hardcore WoW raiders are really, really,
Hardcore?
really hardcore.
I'm there to have
yeah.
fun.
Well, that's just it. I have a boss in real life. I don't want a boss in my video game.
Exactly. And we ended up having one, and we all left. But yeah, that's all. That's all classic. That's all in the past. That's all. When did classic end? Was that a year ago? Has it been longer?
Well, yeah, because they did set aside those 1 year run.
They did the Season of Mastery, which
Season
we
Mastery.
tried, and it was terrible, and we didn't like it, and we stopped.
Yeah.
We were also playing on a server that had, I think, 8 people on the
Oh,
entire
the
server.
Well,
Australian.
yeah, we picked an Australian. But, so that's run out. So that was a whole year. And TBC was out at the same time. And then I played TBC up to 70, and then we were off, and then we were just waiting for Wrath to come out.
So it was more than a year before we quit, between when we quit and we came back for Wrath.
I think so.
And as soon as I found out, no, I'm sure it was announced way before I found out, but as soon as I found out that Wrath was coming out, I decided that we needed to start playing again.
I'm pretty sure it was me wanting to get back into playing.
You wanted to get back into playing, and I was resisting and saying, no, I didn't want to. But then when I saw that Wrath was coming out, I was like, yeah, I think I will. So, okay, yeah, it was your idea.
Thank you.
And the oddest thing of this whole situation, I was the longest holdout.
Yeah, you were.
Not counting Brett.
It took you, what,
Yeah,
2
not counting
days?
Brett.
2 days
I got
of us
home.
talking to you.
You guys were playing another game with me, then you just left. Well,
I
you
didn't like
you
that
didn't
one. I
play.
didn't really get it.
What was it? What game was it?
Valheim.
Oh, I wanted Sam to say it.
Valheim.
Yes.
Valheim? I can never say
Valheim.
it right.
Valheim, the Viking game.
It's Val, like short form for Valerie, and Heim, like short form for.
Hi, man.
Hi,
It's a
man.
it's a first and last name. I think I just caught what you said, but
We both thought of the same thing.
probably. So yeah, so we did that. We started new characters because we all had level. I think we had ours up to 64 before we actually quit. So I guess we made it into Burning Crusade a little bit. You had levels. Your warrior was 64. And my paladin was 64 when we logged our
Oh, I
accounts
didn't
back
know
in.
that.
So we must have played for a little bit. You must have kept us hanging on for a while.
Or you were hacked.
No, because I remember
Oh,
playing
no,
for
no.
a while.
You guys were back in TVC for a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we were like, okay, well, we didn't play through Nax. We're going to come back and we're going to play in TBC. And then we just didn't.
Yeah.
So
The
we
Hellfire.
Hellfire
section?
Peninsula. Yeah, I
Okay.
think we did that and maybe one other zone and then quit.
See, I was so stoked because that's where I started was TBC, so I was super excited. Then you guys left, and then when I actually did play it, I'm going to be honest, I'm really stoked for Wrath.
So that
More
means
so
we
than
need to
I was.
stop playing.
It's a better
I'm just kidding.
it's a better expansion than Burning Crusade. Like Burning Crusade was good, but Wrath adds a lot more cool stuff and it makes the game a lot more playable, I think.
Well, I was talking today, and if I'm on a flight path in Classic, I go and do other things. I'm on a flight path in Wrath, and I'm just sitting there angling my camera. I'm just watching the cliff sides and everything. It looks nicer.
It does, yeah. It doesn't necessarily flow very well because why is there a jungle in the middle of this frozen north? And it's like I'm pretty sure it's right in between the frozen Borean tundra and Ice Crown Mountains. Like, isn't it right in between the two?
Yes.
So it goes like ice. Well, it starts no ice, right? Lower Borean tundra starts with no ice, and then it turns into ice by the top of the zone, and then it's tropical jungle, and then it's straight back into ice again. I'm sure there's like a reason for it. Oh, you know what we should do? If we're going to do this every week, because I feel like we don't know everything about WoW.
Clearly.
I know, you both
Clearly,
look
I
super
don't.
surprised. What we should do is every week we should come up with some cool like lore tidbit about Wrath of the Lich King. Maybe do a different zone or a different like character within the lore. That's probably picking up my phone going off, isn't it? I should move my phone. We should do a different like lore thing each week and like bring some new fact or new interesting piece of information to the table.
Well, I already know who I'd want to talk about,
Who do you want to
and
talk
that'd be
about?
from Classic.
Well, no, but we're doing Wrath of the Lich King. This is what who from Classic?
Do you want me to say here? Be a bit of a spoiler.
Well, it's
Spoiler
not a
alert.
Spoiler. You can say who you want to do. If there's a WoW character or zone or something you want to do a lore dump on next week, for example,
Well,
give a teaser of who it's going to be, and then come back with all your cool information.
Well, I don't want you to get lost in all this Viking stuff. But
Okay, I feel like I know where you're going with this.
but I
Well,
don't know how much
here's
I
what
can-
you should do. Rather than spoil and say who it is, give some cryptic hint like that.
But
Is there some on? Okay,
I
I'm
just
putting you
did.
on the spot. You have 10 seconds to come up with some little riddle to tease who it might be without actually saying who it is.
I don't know. On the spot, a riddle. When have I ever done a riddle?
You haven't. I was just putting you on the spot for the fun of it.
Riddle me this: who can go fast? Who is strong? And who is not? Okay, yeah, no, I suck.
That was close. I have no idea what you're talking. See, that made me know less about what you're talking about. Okay, but Lost. You're talking about Vikings. You're talking about a video game reference from
Yeah,
the
I
80s.
didn't want you to get lost in all of this Viking stuff. Lost Vikings.
So you want to bring up some lore from a dungeon from Classic, but you don't want it to get lost in all this Viking stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we've dragged this out for a long time, and if someone's going to get it, they're going to have gotten it by now.
Well, we've pretty much just said what it is.
Well, yeah, but
If it helps, I don't get it.
it does help.
Okay.
That's between you and Josh.
That means at least someone doesn't get it.
Rated R, Superstar.
So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so we're gonna do the lore thing. Okay, so but we were talking about classic, and then we talked about Burning Crusade. We haven't gotten into Wrath of the Lich King yet, and this whole point of this is to talk about our journey through Wrath of the Lich King.
Well, we're leading up. This is the teaser.
Well, this is episode 1.
Oh, I thought it was
This is the
episode
lead up.
0.
No,
Okay, episode 1.
episode 1. So what? Or do we want to like call it here and be like, okay, this was episode 0. Pause for 10 seconds, and then start episode 1 where we talk about Wrath of the Lich King. Then we have 2 episodes,
Sure.
each
Okay.
approximately 20 minutes long, depending on how much I edit out of this.
All right, folks. So now we want to talk about Wrath of the Lich King, and that was
No, we
episode
need to
0.
pause for
Thank
longer
you.
than that. We have to say our goodbyes.
That was my goodbye.
Oh,
That was my exit from this episode 0.
I'm supposed to exit from the episode.
Okay, edit that out.
Would you like to say goodbye?
Bye.
Thank you for listening. This has apparently been episode 0 of Mere Casuals. We will be back in 5 minutes for episode 1.